Sigma males have unique habits that often leave others puzzled. What seems strange to most people is just a natural part of their personality. If you're a Sigma, you've probably noticed that some of your behaviors don't always make sense to those around you. This can lead to being misunderstood, but to you, these habits feel completely normal. While some of them might seem unusual from the outside, they serve a purpose and align perfectly with the Sigma way of thinking. Here are 8 odd habits that all Sigma males have, ones that most people simply don't get. Number 1. They choose seats in the back to go unnoticed. Ever notice how some people always choose the back seats in meetings or class? It's a common habit among Sigma males. They'd rather observe than be the center of attention, so they pick spots where they can take in everything without being in the spotlight like alpha males. To others, this might seem odd, but for them, it's the most comfortable way to be in control. Sitting in the back also gives them an easy escape if things get dull. They can slip out without anyone really noticing. They prefer to stay low-key and let others take center stage. It's not about being shy or avoiding participation. They just feel more at ease when they can see the whole picture from a distance. Even in a crowded room, sitting in the back gives them a sense of personal space. They're the type to speak only when they have something worth saying, which sometimes makes people assume they're not paying attention. But in reality, they're some of the most observant people in the room. They take everything in, quietly listening, analyzing, and understanding more than most. Number 2. They disappear without explanation. Sigma males move through social situations like ninjas, silent and unnoticed. They don't always say goodbye or explain why they're leaving, not because they're rude, but because they don't see the point in unnecessary small talk or drawn-out farewells. If they've had enough or the conversation no longer interests them, they simply slip away. The same goes for social media. They might suddenly delete all their accounts without warning, leaving others wondering what happened. For them, it's just a way of simplifying life and cutting ties with things that no longer bring them joy. Freedom and privacy matter more to them than social expectations, so disappearing without explanation is just part of who they are. They don't seek approval or validation. They just do what feels right, even if others don't understand. Number 3. They overthink a text message before hitting send. You ever catch yourself typing out a text, deleting it, rewriting it, and still not sending it? Yeah, that's probably because you're a Sigma. These guys are known for overthinking, especially when it comes to texting. Every word, every punctuation mark, they analyze it all before hitting send. They don't want to seem too eager or risk being misunderstood, so they take their time making sure their message says exactly what they mean. This isn't about texting close friends or family. That's easy. But when they're messaging someone new or handling a professional conversation, it becomes serious business. They'll reread their text over and over, tweak a word here, add a comma there. It's almost like they're crafting a secret message instead of just sending a simple text. And the funniest part? After all that effort, they might not even send it. They'll stare at the screen for a moment, then just put their phone down and think, maybe I'll just call instead. It's a weird little habit, but it's just how they are. Careful, precise, and always making sure they get it just right. Number 4. They give one-word answers to end boring conversations faster. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation that feels like it's dragging on forever? The kind where time slows down and you start looking around, hoping for an escape. It's frustrating, right? That's exactly how Sigma men feel when they're forced into a dull conversation. They're not the most talkative people, but when it's about something that actually interests them, they can hold an engaging discussion. However, if the topic is boring or irrelevant, they'll try to end it as quickly as possible, usually with short, one-word answers. Imagine someone going on and on about something as exciting as watching paint dry. Instead of pretending to be interested, a Sigma will just respond with a simple, cool, or interesting. It's not meant to be rude. It's just their way of politely shutting down the conversation without getting sucked into it. They'd rather spend their time on something that actually matters to them. After all, What's the point of discussing something they have no interest in? It's like explaining quantum physics to someone who couldn't care less about science. Completely pointless. So next time you're trapped in a boring conversation, take a page out of their book. Number 5. They don't like it when you praise them too much. Most people love getting compliments. It makes them feel good, like they've accomplished something great. But Sigma men are a little different. They don't always enjoy being praised or getting too much attention. Sure, it's nice to be recognized for a job well done, but when the compliments start piling up, it can feel a bit awkward or even insincere. Sigma males tend to be modest. They don't need constant validation to feel confident because they already know their own worth. When someone lays on the flattery too thick, they can see right through it. Instead of feeling appreciated, they might start questioning the person's motives. Are they being genuine? Or is there an ulterior motive? Too much attention can make them uneasy, especially if it comes from someone who doesn't usually hand out compliments. They don't like being put on a pedestal or treated differently just because they did something well. They'd rather keep things low-key. What they truly value is when people take them seriously, listen to what they have to say, and respect their insights. For them, doing things the right way is its own reward. They don't do it for applause. Number 6. They hide from acquaintances to avoid small talk. You know that moment when you spot someone you sort of know? Maybe that overly chatty coworker or the neighbor who always asks too many questions. For Sigma males, this is the perfect time to become invisible. They can't stand small talk or forced conversations, especially with people who never have anything truly interesting to say. They'll go out of their way to avoid it, taking a different path, pretending to be lost in thought, or suddenly acting fascinated by the back of a cereal box at the store. To them, these interactions feel pointless and exhausting. They don't like faking interest or making conversation just for the sake of being polite. If there's nothing meaningful to talk about, they'd rather keep to themselves. It's not about being rude, it's just about preserving their time and energy. That's why, if they see someone they recognize but don't really connect with, they might turn the other way or act busy. It's not personal, it's just their way of keeping life simple and avoiding unnecessary social drains. Number 7. They silently judge people's word choices. Sigma men are the kind of people who really listen, not just to hear words, but to understand how they're put together. They pay close attention to the way people speak, the words they choose, and the little details in their language. It's not about being judgmental. It just comes naturally to them. By simply listening, they can pick up on a person's intelligence, intentions, and even personality. They don't point it out or make a big deal about it. They just take mental notes. It might seem unusual, but this habit only shows how detail-oriented they are. They're not trying to sound impressive or flaunt a big vocabulary. They just have a natural knack for picking up on how people express themselves. More than that, they don't just hear the words. They look for the meaning behind them. They want to understand what's really being said, what's left unsaid, and what someone's true motivations might be. Because of this, they're not easily deceived by smooth talk or flattery. It's nearly impossible to manipulate them with words, because they see through the act. Number 8. They never reveal too much about themselves. Sigma men tend to be pretty private when it comes to sharing personal details or opening up about their feelings. They don't see the point in talking about personal matters unless it's absolutely necessary. If the spotlight is on them for too long, they'll often change the subject or deflect, which can make others feel like they're hiding something. But in reality, they just value their privacy and don't feel the need to share more than what's essential. They're also incredibly self-reliant and prefer handling their own problems rather than leaning on others for support. It's not that they don't have emotions or struggles, they do, but they choose to keep those things to themselves. This can make them seem mysterious or distant, but it's not about being secretive. They're simply comfortable in their own skin and don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Another reason they keep their guard up is that they don't trust easily. They've seen how unpredictable people can be, so instead of being overly open, They protect themselves from unnecessary disappointment or hurt. That's all for this video. We hope you have found this video informative and interesting. Do you identify with any of these traits? Which sign resonated with you the most, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching our video.